Okay, so I want to sort of make the link. This series is called Justice Redesigned,
Yeah,
and you know about injustice. You've
yeah,
lived
yeah,
injustice, and bringing this, as I said earlier, leveling the playing field. So I want to really kind of push you to sort of tell me, how does this now relate to justice in society? How does this relate to, where do you think the pressure points are? What do you think needs to change? How does this work support something that's not just a sort of corporate, or sports world? How does
yeah,
it
yeah.
support that? Because it's really important that we see beyond the fact that you run a business, because you're doing something else.
Yeah, absolutely. And a brilliant question. For me, I think one of the first things is to recognize and identify injustice because, again, everybody has their own connection to that. People might have perceptions, there might be cliched injustice, there might be obvious inherent injustice. But again, understand each individual to understand and recognize what do they feel is the and are the injustices that they're facing or they're having to overcome or they themselves have been beaten down by, and really understanding that, because that is so insightful. It's incredible. And again, it could, this understand before you're understood principle is incredible because people have their own standards and things that are really, really important to them. And if anybody is disparaging towards that, even, it could be in what other people perceive to be humor, but it could massively switch other people off. And the fact that they then become a victim of this so-called humor could be huge. They could feel really bullied, alienated. They could feel, put down, whatever it is. Now, the various industries we come from, we're really lucky to have been able to see this really quite outwardly and very, very powerfully. I've had all sorts of discrimination in the sporting world and the football world, and you have to overcome that and the injustice of people casting aspersions because of the color of your skin, the fact that you look different, you might sound different, or culturally you might eat or do different things to the norm, and all of those kind of scenarios. So you're constantly fighting against that. So you understand what it is to face and to overcome injustice, and you recognize the powerful feeling of doing so and achieving success in spite of all those injustices. So when you are then faced with people, don't judge them based on your own viewpoint, understand from them, find out from them. And that's something that we do an awful lot. And again, it's got nothing to do with the corporate world, Maria. That's got to do with the individual people. I know a lot of the brilliant work that you do supports prisoners and prisoners looking to reform. And some of the work that we've done and some of the conversations that we've had with our mutual connections and in life, everyone deserves another chance. Everyone.
What's really speaking to me is, in the earlier part of our conversation, we were talking about, seeing the world from the point of view of the individual.
Yeah.
But, that's step one. Step two is having then those individuals who now believe that somebody sees the world from their point of view, understand how they fit into the weave
Correct.
of all the different people and all the difference that we will encounter.
Yeah.
And I couldn't help thinking about you as you were sharing that exercise, because firstly, your passion and your smiles and everything around that exercise and what it means, and you've clearly seen some real transformation through it. But I must admit, I was thinking about your 6 important items, and I wondered where Brown Bear was.
Yeah.
Those
Yeah.
6 important
Yeah.
items. Would
Absolutely.
you have let
Yeah.
go? And
Yeah.
isn't that
It,
interesting?
it's brilliant because one of the key, and again, you've raised a great point. What's really important to add to the exercise that we do, and you've just brought it up, is we participate in it as ourselves.
Yeah.
So there's, we might be the facilitator, I might be the facilitator, my colleagues might be the facilitators when we do it.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind, we're working with this group, and if we are a coach, a counselor, a mentor, a consultant, whatever role we're taking based on whichever group of people we're working with, we're still getting to know these people. We're still working with these people. So we absolutely do that. And we're divulging this really deep and personal stuff to them as well, because we know that actually, once we conclude this, we're forming a relationship, and that formation of that relationship is going to be the foundation for success as we go forward.
Absolutely.
So we absolutely share our personal insights as well.
I mean, for me, everything begins with relationship, and we can turn everything scientific and logical and evidence based, and we can argue and debate and prove our points. But you can't even do that if you don't have a relationship.
Absolutely.
You know.
Yeah.